so I didn't suspect anything. The desperation of getting something, I really didn't care. I am new here in Germany, so the quest for a job search began, and I used some online platform. When I discovered it was a scam, like when I requested for payment, I then went to do a deep online research.
Welcome to Voices of Anhalt, where we are trying to make your voices heard. And by we, I'm referring to the International Office of Anhalt University of Applied Sciences. And by you, I'm referring to our international students, international experts, international alumni, any people of interest to our audience. Welcome.
Yeah, feels good to be back after a short break of a couple of weeks. But today we come to you with a special episode because today we're going to talk about scams that affect international students.
Florian, why are we talking about scams today?
Because in recent years, international students have repeatedly been victims of scams, and these scams have become more elaborate. So we're trying to protect you, our international students out there, and try to give you an overview of the most common scams and try to give you a personal perspective so that you're well prepared.
10 years ago, when I started working here, a usual scam would be that students would sign a contract they didn't understand or sign up for a gym membership or a journal, and then they had a hard time getting out of this. It was annoying, but the damage was measurable. And now we're looking at scams where whole identities are stolen, and it's critical and stressful for students. So that's why we wanted to make a special episode. And we are really lucky that we could find students who is willing to talk to us about this issue. And so we welcome our guest today, and usually we take our time introducing our guests, but we're not going to do this today.
Yes, we're trying to keep it as anonymous as possible because our guest today, Baba, is still currently involved in a scam case. So he can give you first-hand experience on what it's like and how it feels to be, a victim of this scam. Hello, Baba.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
We're calling you Baba because this is our most preferred kebab place in Köthen.
So, Baba, tell us, we already established that you're part of a scam. How did the scam start?
Okay, as an international student, we came here to study. Along the line, we have to do one or two mini jobs just to keep the living going,
Because of the blocked account that you require, or
just for support.
yeah,
Yeah, the blog account is there, but we just have to, work a little on the side just
And
for
pay
more
your
support.
living
Yeah,
expenses.
exactly. So this led to search for jobs, and of course I am new here in Germany and the environment is new.
when did you arrive?
I arrived on the 10th of October.
So at the start of the winter semester 2025-26.
Yeah. So the quest for a job search began, and I used some online platform. Is it fine if I mention names?
Yeah,
Please
sure.
mention him. Tell
Yeah.
us how you went about searching for a job.
Yeah, so I used a job platform called Job Roof. Yeah, so on it you find different student jobs, and
And were you looking for something like in particular in a specific area or just anything that pays?
actually it's anything that pays, because I tried searching for tailoring my search to a particular field, but because of the language barrier and all of it's really
Yeah.
difficult. So for international students, I believe most of us just search for anything that pays.
And anything that allows that you're just speaking English, that where you don't need any German comprehensive knowledge.
Yeah, not really, because even on the job, sometimes you have to, speak the little German,
Yeah.
but it's not like a requirement, not a must for you. That's just it. I saw this advert on Jobroof that says, "Oh, you have to work from home." For me, it's like the perfect student job because I don't have to travel to another city, a lot of time on the road. Yeah, I applied.
What was this job description?
The job description was that I get some consignment, some packages. I also get a label. I put the label on them and I send another address.
Okay. And the job offer that you saw there online, was this like a fancy job offer? Was it like prominently placed? Was it approved by the platform, or was it just a pop up that?
No, it's not an ad. It's approved by the platform because there are other jobs there. I applied for a lot of jobs, but I got contacted by these people after a week.
That's interesting because 1 week is actually quite fast for these kind of responses on job offers. Normal jobs, they usually take like 2 or 3 weeks to respond, and the typical thing that these kind of scammers usually react very quickly because they want to keep you engaged.
Yeah, I know, but there is this thing that also comes with you getting a job as a student. You discover, oh, you have friends here and there, and they are all doing something. There is this pressure that it puts on you, like, I need to get something to support myself in school and all of that. So there is, to some extent, a level of desperation. You understand? That was what happened. I applied, got a response after a week. The response, when I first saw it, to be honest, I did not immediately read in between the lines. I was like, finally, after a lot of applications, I'm getting a yes.
Can you guess how many applications did you send out before you landed this scam job?
In December, January, I sent over 100 applications.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
they are not just for student jobs, some are professional. I got responses with language requirements. So
But it would also be interesting to understand the application process with these kind of things. What was the job, the process like? Like, did you have to upload a CV somewhere, or did you just say, "Hello, my name is Baba and I want to work," or did
Did you
it
have
work?
an interview?
for each application I did, I submitted a CV. At first, I submitted a general CV. Like, I used the same for some applications. Along the line, I had to edit the CV to fit some of these applications because when I get maybe a rejection email, I try to do follow up. What areas do I need to work on and all.
But
So
for
that-
this specific job that later turned out to be a scam, did you just submitted a CV and they got back to you in a week?
Yeah, it's a platform. You upload a profile. You have to fill your profile. A part of it also says upload a CV. Since it is student job, so it was not so specific how your CV should look like. It's just for you to submit a CV. Passport photo. No, actually they asked to submit a passport photo, but my CV already has a photo. So photo was automatically extracted. No need to upload another photo.
So when you say passport picture, you're talking about a picture of your face,
Passport
not about a
photo, passport
picture of your
photograph,
passport.
not the travel document. Yeah.
Did they approach you with the wish to do an interview, or did they offer a contract right away?
This was why I fell for it, because before this job, I got a mini job. Where I come from, when you're getting anything official, it has to be letter-headed. But the first mini job I got was just in black and white, not letter-headed. The name of the company was just typed like a normal printout. Yeah, it worked. For me, it was not a red flag anymore when I saw this, because
Yeah.
this contract was also like the first one I got. So I didn't suspect anything at first.
But they immediately sent you a contract without having an online meeting or an interview.
No, the first email was just, "Oh, thank you for applying with us. We are willing to provide you with a contract. You have to let us know if you still want it or not." Then I responded with the email, "Oh, yes, I am interested." And on the email they sent was also to specify the position I applied for, and if it's part-time mini job, I also indicated it's part-time I applied for. They responded that they are going to get back to me with the official email, because this person that sent the email was just a person's name at the company's.
That's interesting because now in hindsight, the whole contact that you got with the company, it was all through email. Did you ever see real person's face?
No, all through emails. We communicated via emails. The contract came in. I had to jot out some points. After the email body carries the duty, what I have to do, then the contract also stays as an
And-
attachment. Yeah.
Did you ever research the company, like check the name with Google it, or check was there an address on your contract?
Yeah, to be honest, at first I did not check, but when I typed the name of the company on Google, it comes out like that. The name is there, but I did not go deep into the website to check for their careers at that website. It was just on the surface.
Do you assume that they used real existing companies, name and website front? So they jumped on the name of an existing company? Or did you ever check whether the address on your contract exists in Google? Whether there's an actual building that mentions the company?
Yeah, on the email, I did not pay attention to that, whether there is an address. But when I searched on Google, it came up with an address in Frankfurt.
Voices of Anhalt is a podcast produced by the International Office of Anhalt University of Applied Sciences. If you would like to find out more about the International Career Service or our FITTER project, please write an email to fitter@hs-anhalt.de. Talk to you soon. When you communicated with the company, was this in German or in English?
It was in German. But for us, when you get an email in a different language, Gmail automatically gives you the option to translate to your preferred language.
And the contract that they offered you was also in German, or was there an English
The contract,
duplicate version?
it was in German, and the contract I got before was also in German.
Do you remember whether the email address was corresponding to the company, or whether it was just a generic Gmail or something else?
It's not a generic Gmail.
So it was,
for example, the name at the company's email, the domain, for example, abc@frankfurtlogistics.com. Yeah.
okay.
Since it became clear to you that this is a scam, have you tried checking out the company? Do they still exist? Because, we had some other cases where usually as soon as the person tried to, have a problem with the company, they ceased all communication and the website shut down. Do you reckon that they're still active?
Actually checked, and it's still on Google, but I did not work directly with the website. They have another online portal that they created and a password for me. After I signed the contract, because of my first experience with this mini job, like I said, it wasn't a red flag for me. I was asked to submit my document, means of identification. That's my passport.
So a copy of your passport?
Yeah, a copy of my passport, bank details, the Steuer ID, the tax ID, the other Versicherung, the social security. So they requested for all of that. For the first mini job I got, it wasn't a problem. So when this one also came that way, it was the normal thing. So I did the same thing.
And they asked you for all of these things as well?
Yeah.
Because that's typical for these kind of scammers, that they're trying to create a situation where you think that they're legitimate, even often try to do a proper interview just to give you a false sense of security. That's why we were asking.
And it's their way to collect all the personal data. They need to create an identity. And with all the sensitive data, that's your existence in Germany. Yes, tax ID, your birth date, address, name, everything is on there. What you need to create accounts, to create...
That they can order stuff in your name.
Yeah.
When was the first time that you felt, maybe something is off?
So I started working mid of the second to the last week, I think in April, yeah.
Okay.
mid of the second to the last week. When it was month end on the portal, I sent a message how the payment structure is like. And the response I got was actually they pay on the 15th of
Following month.
following month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you work, for example, for April, you get your pay on the 15th of May, the next month. So, but the person that was chatting with me said because I started a little bit after the middle of the month, I'm going to be paid my first salary on the 19th of the following
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
Then the subsequent ones will come on the 15th. Then I said, okay. And I went back, I checked my calendar. The 19th was on a Sunday.
First red flag.
Yes, first red flag. But like I said, I wasn't alone. I had to talk to my friends, and this is what is happening. They said, let us see what Monday will look like.
Maybe that's a good point because I was wondering about that myself. Usually, what gets people hooked is the promise to make money in an easy way. From home, you don't have to go there. Was there any mention of like a salary in the job
Yeah.
ad?
Yeah, the salary is 1,400.
That's a lot.
Based on how many hours, or were they paying you by package, or
Yeah, actually, the base pay is 1,400. The part I did not pay attention to was they said per package sent, I get, I think, 20 euros.
So imagining a normal staff member in one of our post offices, they get 20 euro per hour to do the packaging. And now they offer you 20 euro
For
per
one package.
package, for one package. And did you ever think about why it needs this position, why it needs you to do the packaging or the repackaging? Did it ever come up?
I thought of it, but like I said, the desperation of you getting something, I really didn't care at that
you
point.
get blind for these kind of things? Yeah.
Yeah, because I did over 100 applications in December, and I got one mini job for about a month, and now I'm getting this. This looks promising at first. So it was like a dream job. I didn't really pay attention to that.
Can you elaborate a bit on what the job actually entailed? As far as I understood it, you received packages where? Like to your dormitory?
Yeah, part of the requirement or part of the description is that I give an address where I can receive these packages. The packages were sent to my address. I received them on the platform. When a package is being sent, it shows on the platform, and I can track it. So when the package gets to me, I also let them know on the platform. I just click receive. So when I click received, then a label is automatically uploaded.
Okay. And how many did you receive like in a typical week?
The first week I got about 3 packages. Then the following week I got about, I think, 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So they promised you the base pay is 1,400 plus. If you have 3 packages in a week, that would be additional 60. Or if it turns out to be 40 packages in a month, then this would be an additional 800.
That's the crazy
So,
part, because I was even wishing I got more packages.
Yes.
Because when you send a package, you see it on the platform, the money is there. Then when you send another one,
There's
they
like a
said-
counter on how much money you're making.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting fact because that's very a psychological trick to keep you engaged in this whole process.
And there is like a graph on one part of the platform that shows you, oh, this week you did a lot. This is how much you made this week.
And did you ever wonder what is inside of those packages? Do you have any idea what it could have been?
No, at first. Later on, some packages get to you destroyed, like a little bit damaged, and I had to just like tape it. On one of the packages that was open, I saw like ladies stuff like shampoo.
Like luxury shampoos or?
Not really.
Okay.
Normal lady stuff like nail
Cosmetics.
paint, cosmetics. Yeah. The last few ones I get the notification on my laptop. it gives a little bit of description of what is in the package. I think an Apple wristwatch or something. Yeah.
So like high price electronic items.
Yeah. And there was a time I didn't know what was inside, like glasses. When you shake it, you can
Yeah.
hear glasses hitting.
Because that's like, especially when you came to me and we talked about, I thought this could also be like really dangerous. What if there's like some drugs in there or dangerous substance? I don't know. Voices of Anhalt. So you received the packages, you logged into the online platform,
Yeah.
they gave you a shipping label, and then what happened then?
Then when I print the shipping label and paste it on the package, then I take it to a DHL center. I just send it.
Dropped it off.
Yeah,
Okay.
just drop it. I don't have to pay anything. I just
Yeah.
get a receipt from them that I upload on the platform that this has been sent.
Did you ever wonder where the packages are going? Were they all going to like a same address or different addresses?
Almost all of them were going to similar address. They were mostly to Poland, and I think I got one or two to Russia.
We had a student who also was involved in such a case. He would receive packages also predominantly with electronics and medicine, and he would send it to Belarus and Russia because you probably know that there are sanctions for certain markets due to the war in Ukraine, and this is one part of the scam to get people to circumvent the sanctions. And of course, as this other student found out, those packages were not paid willingly, but by people who themselves were phished
Yes.
and scammed, and or fake Amazon accounts were created. And so
Creates like a circle of scam people who then have claims against each other. That's another psychological effect as well, that you don't really know who you have been scammed by and who you have a claim against.
other people were reaching out to this address because they indicated with the police, hey, I got notification that my account was hacked. Packages were sent to this address, and I want to have a claim against this person because I have damages in this and that amount. Do you know whether any people have reached out in your case?
No. When I discovered it was a scam, like when I requested for payment and I wasn't getting a response, I then went to do a deep online research.
Okay.
I found out something called package mule scam, something like
Yeah.
that. Some people dropped their opinions, how they've been victims, and the pattern of operation, and it looked exactly like my case. Then I discovered that, oh, this is a problem for me. Like I said, I told my friends about it because we were searching, we were in the search together. When someone sees you and say, how are you? Were you able to get something? Yes, I told them, yes, I got something, and it's a very good one. I don't have to travel. I work from home. None of them saw any red flag in what I was telling them. Instead, they even requested, how did I get it? Then
They were jealous.
I had to even refer some of them, like, I got it through this job portal
Yeah.
and this and that.
Do you think any other students have fallen victim?
No.
No.
Because after I realized these same people, each time we see ourselves, we always ask, how is your job? How is work?
Yeah.
And all of that. Then I meet them, I had to tell them again that, oh, that job was a scam.
What did you do once you found out it was probably a package mule scam?
I got advice from a friend to go to the police, and
Yeah.
even online research I made, I was advised to also go to the police to report. So I was planning on the right day and time to go to the police, and also waiting for this friend of mine who speaks German very
Yeah.
well to accompany me. And the evening of that Thursday, I got my first letter from ProED.
What's that?
Pro
Tell
ED.
us about it.
On the letter is Zahlungsaufforderung. Yeah. that is
Payment request.
Payment request, yeah.
Okay.
So on the body of the letter says, oh, I requested for some items. I have failed to pay on the first deadline they gave me, the
Yeah.
second deadline they gave me, and this is like the third.
And did you get any kind of
No.
notification of that your supposedly due to pay?
No, I did not get any email. I just got a post mail, and on the body of the letter, all of this were on it. So the first penalty charge was there, the second was there, and everything was amounted to about, I think, is it 100 and something euros? And I went to my training and also discussed with my teammates,
Yeah.
and they told me that I should not respond to them.
This must have
Yeah.
been very stressful for you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when I got it, everything then dawned on me that, oh, this is real. I also couldn't wait anymore to go to the police.
Yeah. It's like a
So-
second layer of the scam. The first scam is that you're getting to work for them for free and
yeah.
they don't pay you. And the second layer is they're now using your data to order stuff on the internet.
Yeah. I couldn't wait anymore. Then I asked what to do. Then they said, oh, you can also make a report online. Then I immediately went online to search for the how to make a report to the police.
Yes.
So I did that. I was in class. I was
Okay.
yeah, I lost concentration. I just had to do the report, just do something. And I got a notification from the police that my message or the report has been received.
Maybe we can, in the description, we can drop a link to where you can do this kind of report to the police
Yes.
online.
Because the police of Saxony-Anhalt, they have an online portal where you can make a full report and it will be redirected to your local police station.
And if you mention that you only speak English, then usually they select someone from the team who speaks English. In Halle, that usually is not a problem. Yeah.
Actually, because it's a problem, I did not even care about the language. I just made the report in English. And I also I got a response in English as well.
But that's good because that's usually my first advice when these kind of scams happen is go to the police immediately, because once it's made official, you have something in your hand that you can show to all the companies that are now showing up requiring money from you. That's always the first step, is to immediately report it to the police. And if you're clever, submit as much evidence as you have.
Yeah.
Emails, screenshots, the job contract, whatever you have.
From the previous experiences that I have about like getting record of whatever thing you're doing, when I discovered this was a scam, I quickly rushed back to the portal and did a screenshot of everything, our conversations. I know they cannot delete the email. The email is there.
Yeah.
So, but on the portal, I still had access to it at that time. So, screenshotted all of
That's very clever.
our conversations, the packages, the pictures, everything. So, I did that and kept it. Then called ProED immediately because I was not settled. So, I called to explain I did not make any request. I did not order anything. And the representative who spoke with me said, okay, I have to send an email carrying this
Police number.
subject.
Oh.
And if I had reported to the police, I have to also attach the report from the police.
Yes.
Usually you get a case number assigned
Yeah.
to your case, and this
Yeah.
usually helps.
Yeah. Then that was with ProED. Then the other, I got another letter the following day also.
Oh my.
I did the same thing. I called and the representative told me, oh, we are aware of things like this. You don't have to do anything.
Okay.
But I was still not convinced. So I called again in the evening. The other person who picked said, okay, I have to do this. I have to do that. I go to the police. When I have a number or the report, I let them know, I send to them. But for now, I should not do anything. I should not pay any money.
In total, how many companies did have claims against you? Or if you had to estimate how much money in total was ordered on your behalf.
Okay, I got from ProED. I can't remember all, but I think I got letters from like 4 or 5 different companies. The money in total should be around, I think, 700 to 800 euros.
Did you have an interview with the police already?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
At some point, you decided to reach out for help.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Yeah, because after making a report to the police, the only official communication with the police I have is the notification of reception of my complaint, and that is what I screenshotted and was sending to these guys. Then from my research online, I was told, oh, I have to involve a lawyer and this and that. Then I asked questions and they said, oh, there should be one in your school.
Yeah.
I went online also to get an email of a lawyer. Then I sent him an email. Then he referred me.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because maybe we can explain it also for the audience. The university itself does not provide any legal help. However, we do have a lawyer available to Studentenwerk Halle students. So Hochschule Anhalt is part of Studentenwerk Halle, and Studentenwerk Halle provides legal advice. At least the first initial advice is always free. If you're in need of this lawyer, you can go on the website for Studentenwerk, and then you find the contact details. That's usually what we also recommend if somebody comes to us, because officially we're also not allowed to provide legal advice. The first thing is always to go to the lawyer from Studentenwerk. Voices of Anhalt. Voices of Anhalt. The scam happened, the companies had a claim against you. What's like the current situation?
Yeah, currently I got, I think, two of these companies. After we made I got a response from the police to do like an official report attaching the evidence. And, initially they said if I get any response from the police, I should let them know. So I sent that to these companies that contacted me, and most of them, if not all, if I can't remember, but I got emails from them that, oh, we are aware that we have been victims of these scam guys, and we are withdrawing all charges we initially wanted to lay against you. We withdraw all of them. But if you still have any information like from the police, you let us know.
Did you report the company to the job seeking database? Did you red flag them?
I am not sure I did that, but immediately that happened, I went to the platform and deleted my profile.
Okay.
Okay.
Have you ever checked? Are they still offering these kind of job ads still on the platform?
Yeah, actually, when I discovered this, something came to my mind because I felt so stupid to have been scammed by these guys. So I wanted to like act as a bait, because I went back on that platform and I saw a similar job offer, but now with a different company name, but the same format. So I tried to apply again.
Maybe that's something that we also have to make clear to our audience. Please, whenever you realize that you have become a victim of these kind of scams, don't feel ashamed. It can happen to anyone because, of course, you are in a pressure situation. You need financials in order to survive in Germany. So it's understandable that sometimes, your mind slips on these red flags. That's also something I wanted to point out, that it's not a shame to be a victim of these kind of things. It can happen to the best of us.
But maybe we should talk about red flags.
Yes.
Red. Red.
Alert.
Because I noticed your first red flag was, oh, I'm not going to get any money. Or
No,
it's not looking like
The
it's
first red
serious.
flag I ignored was the contract was not letter-headed and it was just black and white.
Did someone sign on behalf of the company?
Yeah, I guess, yes.
And did you do it digitally? Or did you send a
Digitally.
physical,
Digitally.
paper-based?
Digitally, I signed it with PDF signature, then
Okay.
I sent back.
So maybe it's critical to state that in Germany, in general, contracts are signed physically on paper with a pen, and it's not impossible, but it's more unlikely if you don't have a job interview, if you don't have any personal contact with anyone, and then that they accept a PDF signature, it's unusual.
Yeah, that's something that should make you skeptical if, for example, job contract in the end just includes a screenshot of a signature. Sometimes you see that it just put copy and paste a picture of a signature into the PDF. That should make you question the whole thing. Or if you're in exchange with a company and nobody ever shows their face, because a legitimate company would do an interview or at least show you a person that is responsible for you. It's suspicious that you're only in contact through email and you never see a real person. That's like a typical red flag. And of course, the biggest upfront red flag is if they're offering so much money, unrealistic amounts of money.
We always say if it's too good to be true, it probably is. But this is something people, sort of don't look at or don't see because they're just so happy that there's a good offer on the table. Another red flag is if they immediately ask for all your data without having an interview. But an interview also does not offer you the final safety, because we had another scam case with a student that actually went through 2 different kind of interview stages online, people taking their time and doing a real serious interview twice, and it still turned out to be just an upfront for identity theft and for other nefarious reasons that we will talk about later. So, but you should be aware that you have job interviews or you meet people, and I can only advise that you check the company, that you check it in company database. We will provide a link in our description box to see if it could be a serious company.
And check out where the company is located. Go on the company website, look at the imprint of the company, where is the company registered, and then try to look up that place on Google Maps. And you might find out it's in the middle of nowhere or a parking
or a
lot.
parking lot in the UK is what we had before. So this is something to look out for. Also, never participate in any video ident. Sometimes they will say, okay, we're gonna have to check for the creating of your account with us. We're gonna go through a video identity check, and that's why you have to go and get your credentials ready, and then we're gonna step by step walk through this. This is just used so they have an officially video identity check. This is also a worst case scenario. So this is highly unusual. We can only recommend that that's also a red flag for identity theft and phishing in general.
Did they ever try to pressure you or saying, we need the results, the packages within 2 days, or you need to sign now?
No.
Because that's also like a typical red flag for these kind of scams.
No, I just do it at my convenience.
Because, these scammers, they're trying to pressure you, so you don't have a lot of time to think about whether this is legitimate or a scam.
Red. Red.
Alert.
This also happened in some other cases. Maybe we can talk about one of those.
You mean too good to be true job offer crypto trading?
Yes, exactly that one.
We have 2 cases where a lot of damages were done also financially, and this is the second worst. So Florian, tell us about, because there's a student also reached out to you about the layout. A lot of it is
Yes.
similar, but this is the student who had to go through actual job interviews, and I think she also found the position online.
Yes, it started in a similar way. The job was that, it's easy money working from home. That was the claim in the beginning. And she found the job offer as well on the internet. And the actual job part was that she was supposed to receive funds, exchange them at a cryptocurrency exchange, and then move those coins to a different account. What they actually did was that they tried to give her a false sense of security in the beginning through the job interviews and a job contract that looked legitimate. But then at some point they realized, or they said that they can't give her a company account right away, and that she was supposed to use her own private bank account in order to receive the funds.
Usually in Germany, you have about 6 months where company is still allowed to fire you without any particular regulations. And that's why they said for the first 3 months, I believe, you have to use your own account. And then when you're sure that you're actually performing as a crypto trader, then you're allowed to use a company bank account. But before that, you have to use your own bank account to do those crypto exchanges. And they also gave her an account with the crypto database, explained the process to her, had a good onboarding as in how to perform this job. She fell for it. So you can imagine that money that has been fished out of other people's bank accounts
Because that's the problematic part of the
was
scam.
sent to her private bank account, and she transferred it to cryptocurrency and sent it off to different people accounts. This, yeah, it was our second worst case of what happened, because the people who had their accounts fished and the money stolen from their bank accounts, they tried to get the refund from her.
Of course.
And
Yes.
that's when everything
Because they then opened so-called civil claims against the student who used their own private bank account. So I don't know. Are you aware that some students do cryptocurrency trading as a part-time job?
No, I'm not aware of that. I'm
Because that's
not really a
something
fan of it.
that's something we would definitely warn about. That whenever you hear crypto in a job offer, try to be skeptical about it. Because why was there a need to exchange the fund into crypto? Why not transfer them directly? I earlier said that they tried to increase the pressure on her, and they specifically instructed her to do real-time transfers of the money. So the second that the money is moved from one account to another, it's gone. She couldn't use her bank account to get it back. And that was one of the goals of the scammers, to move the money through different accounts in order to embezzle the origin of the money. And then the student obviously faced the difficult situation that,
her bank account was frozen.
yes,
When the bank noticed irregular movements, they shut down her private account. And as you know, usually rent is drafted from the account, and also you need it just for basic living and maybe for the other salaries you get from other jobs. She was not existing in this kind of bank world anymore and couldn't withdraw funds, and she didn't have anything but had to continue in this very difficult time. That's why she reached out to us when she noticed her red flag, that she was in trouble, when other people were reaching out to her.
yeah, so you have two legal impacts there. You're having the civil claims against you for several thousand euros, but you're also part of this money laundering scheme that is probably globally active. And of course, if you are part of this could eventually impact your residence permit if you're convicted of money laundering. So that's why it's so serious with these kind of scams, that you have to be aware. It's not just the money that you lose, it could also impact your stay in Germany.
And what was the red flag there? The first red flag should have been easy money. It was also well paid. Supposedly, she never received any funds. Well paid. It was an online job advertisement, and it was
Too good to be
Too
true.
good to be true, yes.
Because that's usually, you have to think about when you accept a job, what is the surplus that you're creating with your work? What is the point of your work? I mean, if you're receiving a package and you're forwarding a package, why couldn't the company do this on their own? Why does a student in Köthen has to do this for a company based in Frankfurt? The red flag is that, am I actually worth my salary? And if I'm getting thousands of euros a month for a very simple task that anyone could do from home, then that's a red flag for you.
We should probably talk about what the student did in her case. She contacted a lawyer, also filed a police report. She had to do interviews, several. They were really, taking her life apart. And the hardest part was getting an account to be active again on her behalf. And maybe Florian can talk about the lessons learned. What happened in regards to the damages?
In that situation, it was, I wouldn't call it luck, but it was coincidence of situations, because the bank itself also made a mistake. They were by law obliged to freeze crypto exchange trading through private accounts, and they did that too late. So the lawyer reached a conclusion with the bank. They have to refund the civil claims from the people that got scammed through the student's account. They had to refund the money. But that's not something that you can rely on in everyday situations, like when you get scammed, that you're lucky. So you have to prepare for these things. And the first thing is always go to the police immediately and then contact a lawyer. The lesson learned, obviously, is that you need to research the company and what they do before you sign anything?
Actually, the question I have is if this scam guys continues to exist, is it that the job platforms don't do a thorough research of these companies before allowing them to like post an advert on their platform?
That's a really good question. As far as I can tell from my experience, they might not be in on the scam, but they make money with these scam people. The people who post the scams online, they have to pay for the platform. So the platform doesn't care whether they're doing something illegal.
Well, now we're going to get in trouble. But probably, I'm not sure if victims also are too ashamed to take the fight to the platforms. I think I saw a documentary about victims who actually tried, and platforms, like they are willing to take off predators on these platforms, but they need several cases who report that suspicious activity. So we can only encourage people when they see something shady, even if you're not applying, maybe report it. Yeah, red flag it. I think the biggest difficulty is that they will just give themselves a new outside identity. First we were X company trading and now we are Y company trading and we have a new address. And so this is also the thing you can actually research because probably they are forced to change their identity. So maybe they forget to change the address, change the logo, because they have to do it quickly in order to have new ads on these databases. There's not a lot you can research with these online job offers, but the first thing you should do is check the identity of the company and whether everything available on this company matches this identity. As I mentioned before, we will put the Melderegister.
Yes, we will
link,
put that information in the show notes, of course, for our audience.
because all companies in Germany must be registered.
Yeah.
That doesn't help you if the company claims to be outside of Europe, like in the UK or based internationally. But with these kinds of job ads, you should be cautious because usually this doesn't turn out too well.
Recently, I did an application to Amazon. After some weeks, I got a rejection. Then, just recently, for that same application, I got an acceptance.
So they got back to you.
Through a
Now,
different email?
The same email,
Okay.
but the weird part was that the email content has a link, and I clicked this link, and it took me to a place where I have to provide my documents and my
All
bank
over again.
account. My bank
Ah.
account. Then I said, no, this cannot
Shady.
happen to me.
Not again.
twice. Yeah. So I ignored it. The following day, the same email came again. Then I got an SMS.
How did you get an SMS? Because you provided your phone number in the
Yeah,
first
on
application.
Amazon, you have to create an account as well. And the SMS came again and again. Then I reported the email and I blocked them
Who did you report it to?
on Google, like on Gmail. I just
Yeah.
like report this account so that I stop getting these messages.
Because the email came via Gmail from
The-
your end, so the requests don't arrive at your email address anymore.
Yeah.
I think I got it now, yes.
That's also something that people out there need to be aware of, that usually these scammers, they work in networks. One scammer has your personal identity. They usually hand out these data to each other. It's likely that once your data has been captured, that you will receive other requests like the one that you got from Amazon, or that you receive further job offers that sound too good to be true. It's likely that they're gonna uphold this a while.
Yeah, because when that came, I did the research online and I had to go to the Amazon career portal to check. There is no open application. So how come I'm getting this email from these guys and they are using
Exactly.
the official Amazon email? So I just deleted my account as well.
That was what I was going to ask, because Amazon has their own career page. Sometimes they're hiring people for all the picking of the packages and moving them, but you can probably find those ads on their homepage, official homepage. So it is probably a safer route to check for companies and then see if they're hiring, especially in logistics or in the back end of companies, bigger companies or newer companies. There might be jobs available for English-speaking students. Probably it's wise to go via the company and not necessarily via the database. Maybe use the database to look, but not to give out all your data.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'll speak for myself. I do a lot of applications. So when I get a feedback from a particular company, a rejection, for example, I try to like search to check the application when I sent it and when I. So I did a lot of applications and I'm getting some feedback. Like sometimes because the student has, done a lot of applications, you don't know which one of them or when you did this and when you did that. So it's really important to check the exact application and if it tallies with the response from the company.
Tell us, have you managed to find a proper part-time job in the meantime?
Yeah, in the meantime, I am currently doing a mini job. Still like the previous one I got, I didn't do any interview. Yeah, and still the same thing, you have to provide your document.
The reason I'm asking is because one of the popular choices that a lot of students in Köthen and around Köthen do is work with temporary employment agencies. Temporary employment agencies are a company that you have a job contract with, and they rent you out to other companies that need your labor. I don't know, cleaning something, packaging something in the warehouse, or
Standing next to the production line,
yes.
putting things on the production line.
And we had
Usually physical labor.
yes, the good thing is with most of these companies, they don't require a lot of German skills. That's why it's popular amongst international students. And we had, for example, a case where a student received a job offer from this kind of temporary employment agency. The thing is that she didn't really understand the contract that was offered to her because it was just given to her on WhatsApp. And it's like a PDF. The company is legitimate, it exists, and a lot of international students are working for them. But they're using, sometimes let's call it dubious methods to treat students. For example, the situation occurred, she was rented out to a company doing something at the production line. And they requested of her to clean a machine. And the student denied, said, I can't do it without the proper safety gear. And then the end of the story is that the temporary employment agency made her pay for her own safety gear, which is not allowed under, German employment law.
Or at least they have to partially fund a certain amount, like for protection boots or something. There's a specified amount, so you shouldn't be required to pay it all by yourself.
Yeah, my friends that like got jobs from agencies like this, it's like a welcome package. They are supposed to give you for free the safety boots, the hand gloves.
Also, there were situations where they charged the students for the transport to the company that you were supposed to work at, which was not agreed upon in the job contract. The problem was that the student didn't really understand the job contract because it was in German. And it also had some, what they call terms and conditions, the fine print, that is often, even for German native speakers, like difficult to understand because it includes a lot of legal terminology. So my recommendation is whenever you are facing this kind of situation, consult somebody who can explain the job contract to you if it's not given to you in English.
Or if something looks weird or off, get someone to have a look at it, share the information, and don't decide everything immediately. Like get yourself pushed to deciding within 24 hours whether to sign this, whether to jump on this offer. I know it's hard because you all need money in order to sustain yourself, but pressure is usually a bad sign. You have ways to report these kind of companies, even anonymously, through or trigger financial investigation via the German customs, for example. So if you feel like something is going very badly, seek out help. And international office, our career service could be one point of contact you could use to maybe also check some parts of your contract. We do have an open door policy,
Yes.
and we do have opening hours, but we do have an opening door policy because sometimes you need feedback immediately in cases like this.
I'm always happy to help you with something that you don't understand. And that's usually my golden rule. If you don't understand something in Germany, whether it's a job contract, a membership for the gym, or service that you sign up for, don't sign anything that you don't understand. Maybe, Baba, you can tell us, do you have any other examples from your friends, your fellow students, where they are suffering from these kind of exploitative work conditions?
Not really. The only thing I know of is since maybe someone is working with these agencies for a company, you can be asked to maybe stop, or you don't even get any shifts at all, and without any explanation.
That's also a typical thing that these agencies do if they're not satisfied with your work results or with the way that you behave or even try to exercise the rights that you have. They're trying to pressure you by saying, oh, we'll just withhold your salary. We're not going to pay you the outstanding 300 euros that we still owe you. And then they suddenly give you a piece of paper that says the nice German word Aufhebungsvertrag, or in English, that's a termination agreement. And if you sign this kind of termination agreement, then you're giving away all of your rights as an employment and the contract ends immediately. So before you sign anything, even if a work situation goes bad, consult somebody, an employment lawyer, or come to the international office. Don't get tricked into signing something immediately just because you want to get out of there.
So maybe our final case that we want to briefly mention, because there's so much more that we could talk about, happened, I think, 2 years ago, where a student was taking advantage of fresh to Germany, new. This case also made it to the news, and it wasn't the only case in Germany. It usually targets Chinese students, where they are made to believe that they have become victim to money laundering, and they were actually people who launder the money, and fake police reports are being sent to them, and they're pressured via their WeChat and via
Yes.
their mobile phone to pay a huge sum
Or their family gets arrested at
in
home.
China. Yeah. And everything is done quickly, and pressure is really high. They keep calling and they're sending messages. Yeah, they feel really real to this student. And the student ended up paying more than 30,000 euro, their family, because they thought they were avoiding prison time to this. And this happened several times in Germany. So that made it to the news. And also one of our students was victim of this. So I think the red flag there is if someone is pressuring you 24 hours, 2 days time to fix this, usually this can't be real, because in Germany at least the clocks tick very slow when it comes to administration and
Yes.
police work. This is something you can count on. It will likely be written paper, it will be via letter, won't be calls, and they will take their time, even if you did something horrendous. So if it's concerning money, working, taxes, usually there's time. So there's time to consult, there's time to seek aid, and there's no reason to be pressured in 24 hours or 48 hours to do certain things. And our police, they are, like, we are not the experts here at the International Office, but police, they have their experience, and they have probably even more cases, because not only students are falling victim to this, also Germans, also other people who live here or even in Germany, so they're better informed. We can only encourage you to not just seek advice from us, but to have trust in the German police that they are trying to help.
It's always good in a situation where you don't know what to do and you might have suspicion that this could be a scam. It's always good to get other people involved, get other people's opinions, get help. Try not to do this on your own. As I said in the beginning, there's no need to feel ashamed for this.
We are very glad that you were not too ashamed to be here, but that you offered your experience and your advice on what was the first red flag, the second red flag, and what to actually do, how to become active, not be passive victim, but to actually trying to defend yourself, trying to defend your identity. And this took courage, and we greatly value that you took the time, the effort to come here and to be open to talk to us. We're really thankful for that, and we can only hope that a few students maybe learned something today. Do you have any questions for us?
What I just want to say is, I think this should be, I know you talk about these things during the orientation programs for...
During the first step session, yes.
Yeah, for international students, but we just hear it on an abstract level. Like, it would be much more better if we hear like these stories, because we only hear too good to be true, don't fall for this, we don't know what that really means. And so, but when we have like a session where, you give us stories of how someone, a student, an international student, has been scammed or how they go through it. So it will also help the new ones coming so that when they are in such situation, they know that, oh, I heard this thing before. So this is how it is.
I can only encourage our listeners to share this link and to share it in the community that we did this podcast. I also feel like we didn't talk about the food delivery scams and people who are really suffering because
Maybe we have to do a second episode on scams.
But like, if you would ask the Google AI to what are the top 10 scams in Germany regarding international students or regarding job scams, then you probably get a first idea on what's happening right now. And they will always come up with new scams. And I can only applaud them for being so professional, as in doing first round of interviews, second round of interviews, and then getting the people to feel like they belong to a team. We also had someone working in a team, meeting other scam people, working together on a project that was fake. So you feel really secure, like you're actually doing something. And really the first red flag that pops up is when you don't receive a salary. But then it's too late.
True.
All the bad things happened already. We're trying to learn, and we're also trying to improve our information on this, and probably we will take your recommendation and use like a really scary bad example in our onboarding session.
Is there any advice that you could give to international students that are in a scam or feel that they might be a victim of a scam?
First of all, for international students, this is a new environment. You need to, take time to study the environment, ask questions, talk to people. But if anybody is in the process of getting scammed or is already a victim of scam, I would say the person should, even though it may not be so easy, should stay calm and talk to someone before, taking any decision. Because in my case, that was what I did. Immediately I discovered, I talked to people who then advised me to do some things, to make calls to these companies, find out how we can find a solution to these problems, and also getting the police involved. Another thing I'll say for international students is maybe where we come from, when you hear the police, you get scared and all of that. So it shouldn't be so. When you hear the police, you should have this sense of safety. Whenever you're maybe in doubt or you're not sure of something, it's okay to just walk up to a police officer and just, talk to him or her. Because when I first came to Germany, I thought I knew the little bit of German I practiced at home. But when I got here, it was totally different. So at the airport, I couldn't find my way.
Yeah.
So I had to talk to a police officer who then directed me to where I was able to get a bus and, come down to this place.
So trusting the authorities is something that you can do in Germany and that you should do.
To some extent,
Yes. All right.
Thank you for your
Baba.
time.
And also, one last thing, I think there should be more awareness with this podcast, because I only got to know about it, I think, last month or so.
We're doing our best.
Yes, we're fighting for more coverage.
For
so
more listeners.
Spread the link, please.
I cannot thank you enough. Really, for your insight was very helpful, and also your advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me today.
Voices of Anhalt. Voices of Anhalt is a podcast produced by the International Office of Anhalt University of Applied Sciences. If you would like to find out more about the International Career Service or our FITTER project, please write an email to fitter@hs-anhalt.de. Talk to you soon.